What's going on? My name is Tyson McGuffin. Welcome to the McGuffin Show. We are on episode 24 here. It is a beautiful day in Coeur d'Alene. Things we're going to be talking about this episode is chainsaw serve, pickleball wrap, Mr. Matt Wright, Las Vegas PPA, Texas Open PPA, MLP draft, Seahawks, Wilder and Fury fight, Project 2 camps, and we're going to do a fun little portion of the episode today, and we're going to call that Geeking Out with the Boys or Geeking Out with T and K-Mac.
Boom.
Very educational, very insightful. I think you guys will get a lot of value out of it. We're going to be breaking down some points. And K-Mac, what's up, brother?
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's all good.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here. We got our little workout session in this morning, and
Nice little session.
I think it's gonna be a fun episode. It's our first time analyzing some film together.
You don't like to do that stuff.
Yeah,
Not at all. That's
not my cup of tea.
Kyle's gonna eat this up, baby. He is.
No, so yeah, we've got some fun topics. Recapping Texas, the Major League Pickleball draft. We can talk about that. So I think it's gonna be a good episode today.
Yep. This episode is powered by Bemer Therapy. If you guys do not know what Bemer Therapy is, get over to my website, go to my sponsor page, click on the Bemer link, and check that out. It's a great recovery tool. It's a medical device that I use, and it's supposed to increase your blood flow by 30%. I believe it's done that for me. It's all about blood flow, and it's a great recovery tool to push out lactic acid, inflammation, help you sleep better, give you some mental clarity. If you tear your ACL or have some sort of injury like that, it will cut the recovery time in half. Let's say an ACL takes 9 weeks for it to recover. With using Bemer and getting more blood flow in that specific area, it cuts it down in half. It's kind of cool.
Game changer.
This portion of the episode is brought to you by the Dink Pickleball. They provided this clip from the Texas Open. It's the top 10 points from the Texas Open, and to be a little selfish, I was in, I believe, 6 or 7 of those points. When I saw that video, I'm like, you know what, Thomas, if you don't mind sending me that video link or video file, I would love to use that in the pod.
I don't know if you're gonna ever beat that ratio, right?
Come on.
60% or so of the top 10 points is not a bad ratio.
Love me some Texas. I took, got 3 medals last year in Texas, got 3 medals this year, so it was a damn good weekend.
Rocking the cowboy hat. I saw it.
Right,
it's the first time I'd seen you with a cowboy hat.
Woo!
You kind of made it work, though. You're kind of rocking it.
Okay, so first point here. Let's dive in, baby. Okay, so we have Anna Lee and Leia.
This is the finals, then.
Yeah, this is the finals. Texas Open. Oh, Leia does not come in on a return. And that ball was totally wide. Okay, hang on here.
Let's look at that again. Let's look at that again. Well, and if you look at the very first shot in the rally here, the serve, deep serve, right? And, I don't know if it's her return positioning, but she's crowding the ball a little bit, right? And Wyatt jams her a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's why she stays back. But the irony is the return itself ends up being really deep and slow. So she did have time to get into the net, but opts to stay back. Something that we've been talking about as well. I think this is a great tip. Singles players out there, if you commit to the slice return and you realize that the serve is deep, you're gonna have to go to a little half volley, bunt that thing, tip down, short hop, and then look to move in off of that. But if you try to slice that thing back when you don't have time, you're probably not coming in, or it's gonna be a very inconsistent return. Miss the shot or hit it very short. Yeah, absolutely.
So Leia stays back.
Stays back. Annalie takes the net right away.
Yeah.
Ooh, might have got lucky with a call there.
Yeah, it's a nice little flicker cross, but
for sure.
She did.
Might have got away with one. Looked like it was an inch or two wide.
Okay, so we got number 9 here. Matt and Lucy playing Jay and Jesse, and I believe there's a little tension there, if you know what I mean. I don't believe that was a sick lob.
That's just
stupid lob.
Unreal shot selection.
Stupid. Yeah, right. But I don't think there's a lot of love between Jay and Matt, or there's probably not a love between most people and Matt, if you know what I mean. Okay.
Well, they live in the same area.
Yeah, this point is sick.
Unreal.
See ya.
Great shot. Yeah. Jay brought a little singles.
A little singles flash. Look at the slide, huh? Yeah, the Frenchman, the flying Frenchman.
Inside out, on the run.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's slow this puppy down. So yeah, I mean, pretty bold lob there.
For sure.
Right, they're back playing some D.
Trusting their D. Finally gets one where his feet are set. Starts working his way in. Jesse pops it up. They have to go backwards again. Just trying to get a paddle on it here. Stay alive. This is the opportunity where Jay can show off his wheels a little bit. And then it's one thing to get there, right? But another thing to execute a good shot, not let alone kind of a misdirect behind Matt Wright. And I think just an example of foot speed and touch on the go is what gets him to win that point.
Okay, number 8 here. We got, I don't even know who those guys are over there.
Rob's
Gilbert and Gilbert.
The Gilbert brothers.
Gilbert Bros, yep. Okay. Got herself a
them this week.
Rob likes that knife dink, you know, on the backhand side. Look at that look at that defend.
Look
Cassidy
at that.
special.
Oh yeah.
Look at the hands.
Classic Cassidy.
Oh, sick.
Look at this exchange.
Yeah. Not too shabby. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
It looked like a fault was called, but the ball bounced, so I don't understand how that'd be a kitchen.
Okay, on number 7 here, we got Jay and Jesse in the near half, and in the far court there, we have Matt and Lucy.
I believe this was a semifinal match, and then Jay and Jesse eventually do get the win here.
Okay, and drop, sneak in. Jay's looking to get those
disconnects early.
Yeah. Jay's looking to get those hands dirty and poke his head in when he needs to.
Both these guys are known for taking a lot of court, and both these ladies are very solid in that forehand to forehand dink pattern.
Yep. Okay, so got some slow-mo going on here, but wanted to just touch on Jessie. I mean, she's been playing great, been playing with Catherine. Her and Jay have made a couple finals. Made the final in Orlando. She actually won it with AJ in Vegas, and obviously she made the final in Texas. But she's dinking well out of the air. She's mixing up her slices, using slice, mixing up her spins, using slice, using top spin, taking balls out of the air, moving it around. One thing that I don't believe she does great is dink back behind the guy. I know.
Gotcha.
I know when we played her, she really didn't keep me honest a whole lot. It was more so just kind of speeding up back behind me. But obviously, great right side player. As we see here, it's kind of the females grinding away across. Both guys are, being their usual
You see
selves.
these ladies kind of adjust their court positioning between the points. They're often, both of them going to a slice forehand, which it makes sense to take a little step back. Open that up.
Stop. Okay, here we go. Lucy takes one out of the air, got herself a little hand speed battle. I'm just going to rewind here. I mean, Jay, stop it.
Handles the first one right at his body.
Yeah. Lucy Jay tries to find that right little shoulder.
Yeah.
That one's stupid. I've seen him do that a couple of times, and that ball usually gets down. It's not a floaty punch.
No.
And it hits it with some authority, for sure. Girls are back grinding. Yeah, and it seems like Jesse's more prone to like speeding up line versus dinking there first. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree. That's how she keeps the guy honest. But
right.
Yeah, if there's a missing shot in her repertoire, it doesn't seem like she just plays a little misdirection dink every now and then.
Right, and typical right here. As we see, he thought the ball was in, the ball was out. As we all know, he will go right after that ref and try to get on him. Okay, number 6 here. Callie and I in the far court. Jay and Jesse right in front of us here. Okay. Yeah, keep that man honest.
He came all the way over a couple shots ago.
I thought Callie did a great job dinking back behind him. As you can see here, oh yeah. Oh no. Pull your
Tyson.
shorts back up, Tyson. Pull your shorts back up. Just gonna show this again here. Okay, drop. Get one down, buy myself a little time, and
waited for your right moment to get in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was a little
and
high.
I think something to note here, especially guys playing mixed. This ball right here, it's short. It's short. This ball should not be dropped cross. If I drop this cross, Jay's probably going to take one off the bounce, look to go at Callie. Obviously, I'm trying to drop in front of myself, put it on Jesse. Just seems like Jesse's obviously not gonna hurt me off the bounce. So in order to neutralize, put it over there. Got our girls grinding away here. And if you wait long enough, there's a little slice of the pie to put in your back pocket, if you know what I mean, if you wait long enough.
And credit to Jessie. You can see how she paused. It took her out of her normal rhythm, and it's a little bit scary, right? When you decide to go for it, you have to wait. If you're wrong, you often end up losing the point. But the longer you wait, the bigger slice of the pie you have.
For sure. And you have more time than you
think.
Simple as that. Okay. Okay, hit that ATP in your red zone and wait. All right, here we go. Loong and Spency. We have Stoner and Mr. Bob. We got ourselves a
starts with a little shake and bake action.
Oh yeah, got ourselves a messy little hand speed battle. I'll tell you what, it's very messy. Okay, so obviously Tyler likes to drive.
Yep.
Looks like and K-Mac, if you don't mind, run us through us here.
So I mean, this looks like a set play. Maybe they were doing it all match. Maybe they talked about doing it, right here. But you can see how Loong's getting ready to drive, but Spencer actually disconnects well before he hits the ball. He's not just playing his side. He's going to clog the middle and look to put pressure on any weak volley here and look to shorten the point. So drives cross court to Adam. Adam tries volleying back to it looks like Adam mostly just goes right at Spencer.
Suspense. Go ahead and
keeps the volley down.
Take that, brother.
Spencer is able to get the volley back, but not really get ahead in the point like you're looking to do. So at this point, Tyler's just kind of in a mindset where it's almost like a modified I formation temporarily. He's going to wait for things to slow down to then fill in if the point hasn't been won or lost prior to that.
And I think something that Spence did early on, he disconnected, he got up early, but there's this there's this idea where if you can get your opponent looking at things they don't have control of, or if you can get your opponent as they're hitting that fourth ball, if you can get them looking at big picture versus small picture. That analogy I got from Steve Dawson. I totally stole it. Small picture is things you have control of, and that's looking at the ball, right? Looking at the ball in detail. Looking at the holes, looking at the seam, looking at the roughness. Or big picture is kind of glancing at what's in front of you. I like to say, 80% of this game is small picture, 20% is big picture. So, but I think something that you're looking to do when you're poaching is kind of get up, make some noise, get in their vision, just get them looking at things they don't have control of,
So the point eventually slows down with a little bit of a reset volley from Deckel. That's Tyler's opportunity to just come in, slow the ball down, and neutralize. Amazing where he dinks in front of him at Deckel's inside, or almost his right hip, and Deckel was still able to take off an Ernie from there to put them back ahead in the point. This is pretty crazy.
Deckel, quit being so creative.
This is not to his backhand. This is to the middle.
It's to his inside foot.
Inside foot, and he still is able to take off from there.
Stupid.
Pretty select skill set to be able to cover that kind of ground.
Yeah, it's a big man.
Doesn't get it down, but surprises Tyler enough. He kind of pops that one up, and from this point on, Deckel and Adam are ahead in the exchange. You see a little bit more air under Tyler's volleys versus Adam's able to hit down. They're trying to stay alive in the point, but until you can get one down, it's often just a formality until eventually Adam gets one that he can put his full weight into and angle off.
Right, and from what it looks like Loong probably should have reset it or, look to block there. Anytime
Agreed.
You're losing that hand speed battle and you're not up and established, it makes sense just to be disciplined, play one soft,
Yeah, after a couple where you feel that you're hitting up, you got to try to have that frame of mind to slow things down, to realize it's not your time to win that exchange anymore, most likely.
Sure. And I don't think Loong blocks a whole lot in transition. He's more like swing, rip.
Yeah,
it's true.
He's you see this with really athletic guys. They're fast enough that they close that gap so well that oftentimes they can have a limited ability to reset, and they can make up for that with some of their athleticism and hand speed and ability to close the gap.
For sure. Okay, got number 4 here. Oh, Callie and I. Okay, playing Jesse and Jay.
The finals here.
Once again, dig one out. Yep. Go on.
Look at the wheels.
Come on, Callie. Had a girl.
Unreal.
Just don't
Staying
screw
alive.
it up, Tyson. Don't screw it up. Get one down. Get in there. Okay, I'm just gonna slow this down real quick. So, something that I see a lot of people do here. I do it myself, and I obviously did not do it during this point. But when you're playing defense and you recognize you get one down, a great example here. Like I'm playing defense, okay? I get this one down, and then I'm basically enhancing my defense by gaining court position and getting up versus looking to see how pretty my drop is.
Yeah.
Or versus being surprised that I got one in and I'm like sitting back and watching. So you can enhance your defense by getting one down and then gaining real estate and getting up and getting in their vision.
One of the things I teach too is every step forward that you can get reduces the size of your opponent's target at your feet. The net protects you to some degree a little bit more. So by getting that extra step to midcourt here, you're limiting Jay's aggressive or offensive options, right? He's more likely going to dink or put the ball in front of you and allow you to continue your path forward. If he decides to just try to go through you, that's a very small target, and you've got a lot of time to react to that ball at this point. So let's see how it plays out. Stays aggressive, back to Callie.
Does stay aggressive. Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. How many do we got to get down? Callie, how dare you pop a ball up? Dang it.
That's one, though, I mean, over the course of a match, I mean, you lose that point, but Jay had to thread the needle 3 shots in a row because of your court
making him play.
Over the course of a match, he's going to make a few unforced errors in situations like that, whereas if you stay behind the baseline, he can continue to find your feet much easier and take a lot less risk to do so.
And how much confidence that can give you when you're defending well and you're turning defense into offense and you're turning these scrambling points into winning points, like puts pressure on your opponents, takes pressure off of you. You know that you have the option of just playing good defense to score. I'm a huge fan of gaining confidence through good defending, and obviously good defense is great offense.
Makes the court feel very small.
Does. That's a very, and on the flip side, it's so deflating. Let's say you're popping overhead after overhead and your opponents are back at the baseline, the old Newman special, right? Newmans are back grinding away and they finally get one down. It is so deflating when you've been trying to put the ball away for, 4 or 5 balls, and all of a sudden they get one down and they're, in your vision, they're 14 feet away.
Well, I would say when you and I play, obviously you've got great offense, great defense, but it's the defensive points that mentally are more frustrating, right?
Yeah,
because it has a carryover effect into other points.
It does.
You tend to, your shot selection maybe gets a little dicey because you're like, well, what do I have to do to put this dang ball away?
What does it take? That's how I feel like when I'm playing Kohler. He's doing that little crab walk with that goofy block that is always pretty high with margin, but is extremely shallow. I kid you not. Like, talk about a guy who blocks extremely well, but there's more height on his block, but with it being higher, like he does a good job of finding that shallow
that first
zone.
half of the kitchen box.
He does.
Something to be said,
Okay, number 3.
You against Riley and Catherine.
Oh yeah,
here.
got myself a little dub over Mr. Newman.
That's a good win.
I will take that dub.
Okay, gals in their right to right pattern here. Nice little fight off one-handed volley there by Callie.
Yeah, this punch pretty silly. Yeah, don't be trying to lob me, Catherine. She actually tried that. She was very successful early on in game 2. Look at this. This point's stupid. Oh no, we're high formation. High formation.
A little miscommunication, but Callie runs
Callie, just
down.
clean it up. Clean up my mess. Look at this.
Got Callie on the left now, and that pattern
big
with
slice push dink. Hang on. So we got herself a little backhand push slice. Check this out. She knifes this.
Yep.
Which gives her a lift. She goes inside out.
She runs around it, right?
Poke.
Finds her legs.
Clean up.
Look
like
out.
it. That's it. So you see here, Callie's using aggressive dinking. Okay, so this sucker right here, this is what got the lift.
Yep.
There's the lift. Get around it, inside out, poke, clean up.
But what I love about her choice is it looked to me like, when she plays the slice, so she's in a pattern with Riley that I think she'd probably admit, if they're just going to see who makes the error first, probably not to your guys' advantage, right?
Correct.
Just a 20-ball rally. So she takes a little bit more risk on the slice to get the lifting, a little bit more air under it from Riley, but she uses her legs, runs around, cheats over to the forehand, where she knows now she can roll it, now she can attack a little bit better, and it puts you guys in control of the point.
Right. Yeah, this. So she popped a dink up, and then look at this backhand punch, right here. Right. So she pops and I think why this dink got popped up. Rye kind of hit more of a push, pushed her back. Yep. She's kind of taking a step back, but look at this cleanup. Yeah, I mean it's a thing of beauty. And then we're back to dinking. Bang, bang, bang.
Right,
back soft.
Standard pattern here. She's moving the ball around a little bit, forcing Riley to play a couple of balls stay on his side. Not a bad choice on the lob.
No, it was a very good choice. They had won like 4 or 5 points in that game.
Keeps you honest a little bit.
Yeah.
This is just a little miscommunication of who's where, but she tracks it down.
No, she's got wheels.
And then not the standard pattern that you guys were in or going for. So I love this choice. Aggressive, finds her feet, rolls it again, little pop up, Boom. Clean it up.
Come on.
Yeah.
Big hug.
Was it match? Yeah, match point.
Match point.
Oh,
Yeah, not too bad. Okay, let's go number 2 here. Number 2. Okay, Callie and I, Jay and Jesse. Don't be trying to speed up at her. Don't you dare. See that sliding there?
Oh yeah. Getting her shoulders out of the way. She comes right back with the aggression.
Yeah, she does. So let's break this down here. Okay, so yeah, Jesse drops. We get in. Jay looks to speed up.
Speeds up with 2.
Yeah, and Callie's sliding. I mean, so and it's kind of a goofy little pattern. So ladies are like they're in a hand speed battle across court. Slide. But Callie does a good job of kind of sliding, getting out of the way so she can, hit a better punch. But Kyle and I were talking about this earlier, and I thought Kyle put it pretty well. What were you were mentioning? Men's pickle, women's pickle.
Yeah,
it's a little different, kind of based off of this ball.
Yeah, I think if you watch here, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad speed up by Callie at all, but you'll notice if you look at her body positioning after she pulls the trigger off the bounce, she'll often take a little step back. And I think that's to prepare for a little bit bigger motion and swing on her two-handed counter. And, she plays the point well, but if you notice, Jay doesn't give up any court positioning. And he's able to generate in a short motion enough power, enough stick off the volley that even though Callie's putting more body weight into the shot, ultimately, because she's sagged back a little bit, Jay's able to win that point out by not giving any positioning up. Now, in the women's game, where maybe you're not quite as strong or you see a little bit bigger motion or bigger swings, I think it's more favorable for ladies to initiate offense and pull the trigger off the bounce. But in mixed, you have to be a little bit more selective. It's a little bit more about misdirection than sheer power that gets through the guy.
For sure. Number one, baby. This is probably by far one of the better forehands I've hit in my life, and my eyes may have been closed.
I remember seeing this one live. This was a great
that Ernie was so high.
Look at him close.
Look at Callie cleaning out my mess.
Just fighting it off. And
that little stupid short forehand that hit the top of the tape. And then look at me, just pumping my chest.
I mean, look at that.
So yeah, we're playing. So it all started with me trying to Ernie, and I need to get this Ernie down. And also, this Ernie should be a forehand. It should go at Jesse.
Right.
So
couldn't get around it.
Jay's dropping.
The moment he sees it, he closes in hard.
Yeah. And then this. I mean, I'm like 3 feet from the kitchen. Jay hits a high backhand volley, screaming at me. I basically have a ball in my armpit, elbows tucked in. It's tight. Technique is very tight. And slapped it, top of the tape, and clean up. Yeah.
What I kind of love about that, though, is to me, for the longest time, if I'm back in transition and they're slamming it at me, I would have thought, you have to play a reset or you have to play a block. But sometimes, it's just a matter of getting a paddle on the shot, and you can steal away a certain amount of these points, especially when a guy's over and he's standing in the middle of the court. Sometimes these little stab swings actually end up getting the job done, where it doesn't have to be a perfectly placed block volley.
Okay, so that was our first little session of geeking with T and K Mac, or geeking with the boys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know we did.
It was a lot of fun.
We're going to be adding this into every pod segment. Either it's going to be like a top 10 play, a match highlight. Maybe it's like a 5-point highlight or something like that. But we'll have different content. Mainly, we'll be using Selkirk TV. Obviously, today we used a clip from the Dink. So appreciate Thomas Shields and what he's doing at the Dink. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
And big shout out to the Pickle Pod. That's kind of that's an extra arm kind of on the or in the Dink enterprise. So obviously the Dink, they produce content. They have a TikTok page. Okay, so let's see here. I've been home for a couple weeks now. Obviously played Texas Open, and it's been nice. I took a few days off. Actually, my mom and brother Troy just moved to Post Falls, Idaho, so they're pretty close. So she's been watching the kiddos.
Gotta like that little extra help with this big growing family.
It's been nice having mom. I was telling Kyle, the last 4 nights we've had like a family dinner, every night. So nothing like family, man.
No, for
nothing
sure.
like a little family time,
That's pretty cool, man. Excited for you.
But and then the last couple of days I've been playing with Leia. We got a nice little session this morning. Got some confidence, kind of playing Texas and winning mixed, and just at the end of the day, there's only one winner, and it's nice to freaking win. It is, I'll tell you what. But gave me some motivation when I got back. I felt like I just. I was kind of searching just for like that ounce of confidence. I was a little uncomfortable with my paddle and, new baby and all that. And so, no, it's just like, it's been a good mindset coming home, like very motivated and just happy where I'm at, all good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing winning a major like title like this and, in mixed, it's probably very validating, I would imagine, because we've had a lot of talks where you're like, well, do I need to do a little more of this, a little more of that? Obviously, you've been doing very well, had consistent results, but if you aren't the winner, it always plants that seed of doubt of, well, what is it that I need to add? What do I need to do better?
Always searching.
When you can just kind of be yourself and get the W, like, I think that's validating to a sense of, hey, maybe it's just a matter of sharpening who you already are rather than reinventing your whole identity out there, which I mean, something to be said for the confidence that can give you.
I think so, for sure. I think you got to focus on what you do well, and you can't forget like what your main foundation is, and it's tough to it's nearly impossible to reinvent yourself. And you can add tools, but there's no full reinvention process. Like, you're just adding little extra features just to kind of brighten some stuff up,
We talk a lot about this in our camps of kind of knowing your identity and being able to kind of figure out what type of player you are. It's very tough to say, well, I'm an attacker, and then all of a sudden the next tournament you turn into a complete counterattacker.
Right.
Or you're a counterattacker, and then all of a sudden you start speeding up like crazy. I think in general you want to play to your identity, but just get sharper, add little tools that help you own that identity more.
Yep, for sure. K-Mac, what have you been up to last? We obviously taught a camp in Texas on that Monday, Tuesday, flew home Tuesday night. When did you get home, by the way?
Oh gosh!
I mean, what was that flight like? I told you to fly with me.
I should have.
Fly on my lap.
So I did. Yeah. I'll be your little plus one. I'll fit right in. No. So yeah, sometimes when I feel like I can save $300 on a flight, I'll rough it and I'll take an awful layover. But no, it was terrible.
Layover.
It was terrible. I had like an 11-hour
oh my God,
in Denver, and I'd done this one other time, but Denver, they kept all the lights on. There was no spot to even find some dark to get some sleep.
Brutal.
And so I got about an hour of sleep and just kind of roughed it back home. But no, Texas was a lot of fun. I didn't play particularly well, just played men's doubles, the one event. But it was my first time spending a little bit more time coaching Leia and kind of getting her prepped, while you were doing the singles thing. And so it was a fun challenge for me. And then since I've been back, Leia and I have trained half of, each of us just trying to be sharp, but also trying to get her game to the next level. So
for sure.
Been having an opportunity to try some cat and mouse games, which, for my singles game certainly helped me too. It's been fun taking on that project of
kitty cat and mouse.
Trying to make an elite player, the number one player in the world, and she has. I think we both 100% agree she has the ability to get there.
For sure. It's like how do you bring that little added extra out of her at the right time? Right.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be a project that we'll all kind of have a piece in, which will be a lot of fun. But it's great having the three of us all in the same area, all with similar goals, and
you got a good thing going for sure. You have a good group. If there's any stud players that want to move to Spokane or North Idaho, we've got it going on.
We've nice to have a consistent fourth. Obviously, Matt Goebel's in our area, great player, but busy with a lot of other things, and we travel a lot too. But it'd certainly be nice to have another one.
Matty G,
there.
the Iceman. Probably a little too much info here, but I did take my son in yesterday for his little snip downstairs. And oh my gosh, that process is just brutal. I mean, ruined my day. And the doctor was like, you can obviously wait in the waiting room, or you can go back with him. And I feel like any dad should just take the punishment with their son and get your butt back there and handle it, swallow it down.
Be right there with him.
That's right. And so it ruined my day. Completely ruined my day. Mac was like hyperventilating for like 2 hours. His lip is like quivering. And he slept all day after that. It just wiped him out. Any sort of situation like that for an infant, like the guy slept like a machine all day.
Yeah, I have 2 boys. I did not witness either one, but my wife was there. And after the last one that she saw, she was kind of just describing the process, and it sounds kind of
brutal.
Barbaric, right?
I got my videographer looking at me right now, Kevin, and he's got 4 kids, and I would assume he may have had to go through that. Not fun.
Yeah, kind of rough. Glad I have no memory.
Oh my gosh! But anyhow, he's he's all snipped and looking good. Okay, so chainsaw serve is gone, but they are still allowing people to make spin with their non-dominant hand or their tossing hand. They can still create spin with their tossing hand. Obviously, they cannot use the paddle. They cannot use both hands. They can only keep it in their non-dominant and either flick their fingers or somehow create spin with that. Take a look at Morgan Evans' serve. That's what Morgan does. And if you've seen anybody try to return Morgan's serve, is like Bambi on ice. It's like watching Bambi on ice. People are falling over. And like what you had mentioned, you think you can get more RPMs with flicking than you can spinning out of your...
Yeah, I've seen some YouTube videos where people played around with how many RPMs they can get, and in the one I watched, you could actually get more with a certain technique, flipping with one hand than with 2.
Yeah.
But even if it's about the same or similar, to me, I think it's a really bad rule change. To me, I think you got to go all or nothing. Right. You either have to make it to where, because if the issue isn't the chainsaw serve itself, the issue is what is the ball doing after it hits and imparting spin on the toss. So whether that's with one hand or 2 hands, I don't think should matter at all. I think that part's if it's irrelevant. I think pickleball and the governing bodies need to decide, is it good being able to use the serve in more of a weapon with spin, or is that something that we need to take out and have the serve be a weapon in different ways? I could have, to some degree, gotten on board with either way. Right. But this is really a poor decision to me, because you're going to have most pro players for the next year that, myself, I started using 2-handed toss. You're just going to go out and learn tossing with one.
Innovation process.
And so it just feels like it needed to be more decisive, or they just needed to stay out of it a little bit longer. I think it's a pretty poor kind of half rule that we're going to see here.
Just pull the trigger and...
one way or the other.
Yeah, simply, take a look
open
at... Open palm, lift that thing up. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of no spin on the serve. Just to get that true bounce. It's all about the true bounce.
I get you.
Okay, so pickleball rap. If you guys know Max the Chief, his stepdad Don is one of the owners of Medusa Leaf. Anyhow, the Chief has been making a few rap songs, and one of them is a pickleball rap song. He performed it at the Vegas PPA at the Plaza. He performed in Orlando, and he performed in Texas. And one of the lines are, "It's all about that pickleball, and I'm going to third shot drop it on y'all."
On y'all.
On y'all. Pretty funny.
I haven't heard him. I met him there. It seemed like a super nice guy. So
he is,
check out some of his stuff. But
Chief.
Gotta love that. Pickleball. If that won't bring the sport a little younger, I don't know what will.
I mean, come on.
Get some rap in the game, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Las Vegas PPA. Kohler was the king.
Kohler has arrived.
King Kohler. Who is this guy?
Right.
My, oh my. He walks around like he literally has not taken care of his body his whole life. I mean, the man is so brutally stiff. Looks like an ex-hockey player. Obviously, I don't know how good he was in hockey, but just taking a look at his scrambling ability when he plays defense on the pickle court, I would assume the guy was a scrappy hockey player. Pure scrap.
To me, he just seems like a guy who can probably play just about anything. Just
super athletic.
One of those guys that picks up a sport and can do it. Kind of little known fact. AJ, if I'm wrong about this, I apologize, but I was overhearing Joey Farias and Jeff Warnick. Apparently, AJ in high school, I believe, was on the circus team, and he was a juggler. So kind of to razz him from the sidelines, people were going,
AJ can do it all.
He shot a couple dirty looks from the peanut gallery as that was going on, but
that's too funny.
Working the juggling.
Oh my gosh! And if you see Kohler with his shirt off, the guy has got just a full layer of hair on his back and on his chest. The man is hairy.
40-year-old virgin.
Man
style,
is hairy.
Right?
Yeah. I'm gonna buy AJ a massage. I am. The next time I see him, I'm gonna purchase a massage for him.
Put to good use.
Right. But yeah, King Kohler won the mix with Jesse, won men's with Rye. I will be brutally honest. Yeah, it definitely hurt me. And those two playing together did not hurt me at all. But just seeing them, beat Ben and Colin, I'm not jealous at all. But Ryan, over the last 2 years, we haven't smelled any W's against the John boys. And so, just kind of hurt my pride a little bit. But I was more than happy for him. Texted Ride right away.
Yeah.
Texted AJ. But just deep down, I'm like, gosh, we've been freaking climbing and scratching for how long? And we've been swimming in silver and bronze. So, but yeah, those guys played super well. It was kind of a crazy day. Johns and Johns lost to Gridley. And it was a
big upset.
Baritones.
Barrientos.
Yeah, a couple of Utah boys.
Yep.
Hey, give us your insight on Austin.
So I don't know his partner. I think it's Mario. I watched him play, impressed with him, but I'm actually not even sure if he is from Utah. Maybe he is. But I played one tournament with Austin. To me, the guy is an absolute stud. If you look for the things that really matter, specifically in men's doubles, not missing dinks, not giving up court position too easily, having strong counter punching. He does all those things at a really, really elite level. He doesn't cut corners. He doesn't try to get a ton of cheap points. Understands who he is. He's not a former, I don't believe, high-level tennis player. He's not this amazing ball striker. Doesn't play a lot of singles, but he knows what he does. He does it very well. He's pretty tall. And to me, when you can lean in and not just take dinks out of the air, but aggressively take dinks out of the air and spin it and get moving it and take control of the point, it's very tough to find an easy way to beat that. So to me, I think if Austin were to partner, with another elite player, nothing against Mario, I think they're going to stay together for a while, and I'm sure they'll do quite well. But to me, he's a guy that you throw him on, with an elite player, there's not a weak spot on the court.
Sure.
I think he can hang right out of the gate. And,
I think so too.
And they would probably gel.
And
I was very impressed with him.
One of those guys where you look at him and it really, he doesn't scare you. Just his general persona is very low key. It seems like he's a little shy.
Yeah.
But the guy's got game. He's got sneaky game. He does. And I'm telling you that counter punch with that Pro Connect, it's a thump. And obviously I didn't watch that match when they beat the Johns, but I would assume Austin played the right and Ben tried to come at him, and I'm sure Austin gave Ben a couple of these, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it comes off big.
Bringing that stuff here, buddy.
It comes off big and
Pro Connects clunk.
Yeah, it's just, it's mostly just fundamentals. It really is fundamentals. A few things, like I said, rolling the ball in the volley dink, that's a little more high level, but it shows that if you just put balls in play, keep your error count down, and you have the ability to counter and difficult to be attacked, good things happen even at the highest levels.
For sure. But, Kohler, let's see, I think Kohler won 3K for mixed and then 3K for men, so...
And Kohler, who's Kohler?
And Kohler's from Nevada. It's so funny too. Kohler, the Chet Subaru page, his Chet Subaru Instagram page, it says in his bio that he's the #1 player in Nevada.
Right. So it's funny because
and he's actually from Nevada.
Right. Yeah. So it's almost like a satirical thing, but the real him is kind of the best player in Nevada, right? So no, it's he's a nice guy. He's a funny guy, and I don't think anybody, nothing against him, I don't think anybody expected him to come on this big this soon.
For sure.
So he's obviously put a lot of work into his game and has figured some things out.
You watch that men's final too. They dinked a ton to Ben, and we were just talking about this. It seems like, in order to, and obviously I think people are starting to smell blood. People are starting to realize that I'm not going to say he's vulnerable, but he hasn't been as sharp. And so with that being said, the matches that he's lost, he saw a lot of balls, and people dinked to him. People went back behind him, but they weren't afraid of him. And if you don't mind, you said it extremely well. Give us your take on, what was it, on ball and off ball?
Yeah. The more I've been watching, higher level, just pickleball in general, it seems like there's almost categories, and I've thought about incorporating this into my own training. you want to be obviously you want to be able to put a lot of dinks in play and be able to grind and extend points, but there's something to be said for being an on the ball player, the one who's hitting, the 10
Get
shots,
all the touches, yep.
and then the partner who's kind of waiting. And I don't think we practice enough being an off the ball player, being a little bit cold and then all of a sudden having the hands ready to go. So to me, when you watch, you and Riley against all the matches you've played with Colin and Ben, I think if you guys have made a tactical error, it's allowing Ben to just get in such an amazing rhythm of just being an off the ball player. Sure. And the flip side of that is you're letting Colin be in the rhythm of being an on the ball player, right? So he's finding rhythm as well. So by going back at Ben, it doesn't just force Ben to now be an on the ball player, which obviously you're not going to get a lot of errors or a lot of missed dinks from Ben, but you will take him out of his rhythm for some of those hand exchanges of being able to just sit and anticipate.
It will carry into other areas.
And you force Colin to now be an off the ball player, right? Which is a different skill set than being an on the ball player in the rhythm. So I think if you've never thought about it in those terms, off ball, on ball, I think we all practice, on ball, but there's probably ways to simulate with a ball machine or with people to play, to practice playing off ball and to cheat over. And so you got to, kind of have a complete game nowadays to be able to make it through to the top levels.
Okay, Texas Open. First of all, it's in Rockwell, Texas. Love going to Rockwell, small town. It's easy. This place called Genghis Grill. It's so bomb. It's like this little stir-fry place. I used to go to Genghis Grill when I was going to school at Scottsdale in Arizona. Anyhow, if you guys are in Rockwell, check out Genghis Grill. Place is good. We did In-N-Out a couple times as well. Probably not healthy.
Cheated.
I made sure to do it after the tournament, though. Yeah. But so Rockwell, Texas, hot and humid PPA event. They had it was different this year. They had they had a championship court, they had a grandstand court, but it was it was outside, wasn't under the cover structure. Last year was crazy. The championship court was under the covered structure, and there was like sunlight like beaming in, and so it was tough to see certain spots. And they had like loud banners that had a bunch of stuff on them. Anyhow, just the setup made a lot more sense. It was much more open. Just seeing people in Texas are, super nice, love pickleball, very embracing. So, I know you told me you always love going to Texas.
Yeah. One of my favorite tournaments for sure. It's not too crowded as far as just the grounds. It's spread out enough, but for viewing, I thought they did a better job, like Tyson said this year, of having the two kind of championship or stadium courts be off the covered structure just a little bit. People could spread out a little bit better. But you still had that option of having, I think they had 6 covered courts that they used or had to use when the weather got a little rainy. So I just thought it's a great venue. It's just a fun vibe. All the best players are there. So I would say for sure it's a top 5 tournament for me every year. That's the second year I've gone now.
It's at the Oasis Beach and Tennis Club. There's a gal, her name is Francine Jewett. Very sweet. She kind of helped put everything together there. I know she helps manage the club. She was in our camp, Francine. She's
Francine.
Everybody needs a Francine in their pickleball community.
So
like
helpful.
volunteers their time, helps out with beginners, puts them in programs. It's just always trying to make the sport better.
Just a sweet, positive lady.
I love that. I feel like anytime we travel and like we do a camp, we always meet somebody like that.
You're right.
Like the shining light on the pickleball community.
Absolutely.
It just helps everybody.
One of the reasons why pickleball is
for
so
sure.
growing
There's so much of that.
It's just such a positive experience for people that are searching for something different, but it's so inclusive because of people like that.
Yep. Okay, so kind of wild. I actually K-Mac was supposed to stay with me the whole time we were in Rockwell, and
this guy,
tell
you what,
I can't take me anywhere. So I text Kyle like Wednesday morning after I woke up. So flew in Tuesday night. Kind of felt crummy Tuesday night. Woke up Wednesday morning. Felt like a freaking Mack truck hit me. Texted K-Mac and I'm like, dude, I'm definitely contagious. I may have COVID. I'm gonna go get tested real quick. So went and got a rapid test. Tested negative. All good. Went and practiced for a couple hours. Felt crummy. What was it? Damian Spizzo? Yeah. Shout out to Damian Spizzo. There wasn't really anybody there to practice on Wednesday. It was like a ghost town. And
so you guys hit a little bit.
Yeah. Got some touches in with Damian. And then directly after that, went and got an IV. And then literally slept for like 14 hours Wednesday night. Woke up Thursday. Felt okay. Almost thought about pulling out. And I'm like, you know what? I come to these events to do one thing, and that's kick ass and get myself on the podium. So swallowed it down, played all day. Actually played pretty well. A true reason why they need to ban the chainsaw serve is because if you guys watched that horrific semifinals match, I missed 14 returns against Zane. I'm pretty sure I whiffed 3 returns.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was so depressing and so freaking embarrassing. But kudos to Zane. I mean, aside from serving well, he returned extremely well. He was like flattening out the return. It was super
he was going
deep.
big.
It's going huge. I mean, the guy was dialed, super dialed. And obviously, won his first PPA title. The guy's a total stud. And I got him on my MLP team.
Nice little pickup.
Yeah, nice little pickup. But Zane ended up winning it. J-Dub took silver, and I snuck through the losers or the back draw. After losing to Zane, I had to play Jay, beat Jay 15-11. Kyle witnessed it. I basically was dying on the court. I mean, I was like hyperventilating, closing my eyes, just trying to grasp air after each point. I'm up like 11-1 or 10-1.
You had a big old lead, yeah.
I'm stuck at 11 for like 10 minutes. All of a sudden, it's like 7-11.
Jay's starting to get louder and louder.
Yeah, right. And I think I had a couple big come-ons, kind of got me over the hump. Anyhow, won that. And then played Sincola, was dying against Sincola, but beat him in 2. So anyhow, ended up taking bronze in singles, good day.
Yeah.
And then had K-Mac in my corner. And then, let's see, Leia also played on Thursday.
Yeah, played on Thursday.
She played Callie in the semis.
I'd love to see the women's singles draw get just a little deeper. It wasn't.
It's the same stinking. I mean, nothing against the women's draws, but it's just the same draw.
It'd be nice to see more, just more ladies in there in the mix. I think that we definitely will. It's just a matter of time.
Play singles.
Just a matter of time. But she played a gal, I forget her name, first round. It was funny because...
It was a tight first game, right?
I think she beat her pretty handily both games, but just coming out on the court, the gal just looked extremely physically fit. You could tell just an all-around athlete.
Yeah, right.
You never know when somebody's kind of a no-name, like who's what type of game is she going to show up with. But, I think just needed more experience in pickleball singles, returning, staying back pretty consistently. It's going to be tough to do that all day long. So Leia,
don't do that.
Breezed through her first one, and then I believe her second one was Callie Smith, and Layup came out dialed first game, and then for whatever reason she's up 4-2 in the second game, and Leia tells me when she starts feeling pressure or just her blood sugar is rising, when she feels tight, she tends to return and stay back just out of nowhere. And so she did that, gave Callie a little bit of belief, gets down, I think it was like 9-7 or something close to that in the end of game 2, calls a timeout. And I remember telling her, said, I don't care whether you win or lose this game.
Get in.
Just said, make Callie hit 2 passing shots to get these final 2 or 3 points or whatever it was. And she played some solid points and eventually was able to win it in a tight second one.
Staying back and creating a highlight reel off your back foot with hitting passing shots. You can Sherry can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's just, I understand lower levels, if you're having a hard time getting in, if your body doesn't allow you to get in, you hit a short return, the serve pushes you back, makes sense. But highest level of singles, get your ass in. Get it. I've been playing singles for 5 years. 100% of my returns I've gotten in directly. I've never stayed back, ever. Big serve, I'll hit a half volley, but I don't know. I just feel like it's easier to defend and make the court look smaller than it is to send a message that says, hey, I'm going to hit a return and stay back. Go ahead and take an approach, and then I'm just going to create a highlight reel when I'm on the stretch.
No, yeah.
It works a little bit, but in doses.
To me, if you look at senior pro men's and you look at women's singles, every now and then they will return and stay back.
Have a little baseline rally.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the worst thing every now and then, but I think, to me, your plan when you're about to return the serve needs to be to come in. Right. And then if you feel like maybe you got pushed back or you happen to just miss hit it really bad, maybe then you stay back. But I just don't think it's a great plan for the course of a match like we talked about.
For sure. Okay, so mixed on Friday. We got a win over Riley and Catherine, beat them in 2, and then
build the confidence a little bit.
Definitely. Oh yeah. And then got a win over Ben and Simone. Gosh, it's been a long time, and I needed that for my soul. I was dead inside, and literally I've been losing to that man for how long? Ben, I'm sorry, but I needed that. Okay. Okay. I mean, and yeah, we ended up beating them in 2. I mean, to be honest, that like approach of playing really well late in games, like I've talked about previously, like I felt like I did that exceptionally well in Texas, and was just even keel, super cool. And it's funny, like I was so sick the whole weekend, and with being sick, I was more so in like survival mode of just trying to get out there and like produce a level that's good enough. Right. And so it's funny how if you like take out all the selfishness, or like if you're not so internal and you're like sick, or like I've talked about like when my kids are there, I actually play a lot better. I kid you not, I played like a stud, and I was sick all weekend, and I wasn't so focused on myself. And it's so funny how that like allows you to play free, or having your kids there, or having some other variables take place where you're not so, it's like you're not second guessing yourself, and like have that little dude on your right shoulder telling you that. Or forcing you to think, oh, don't miss this drop, or don't miss that dink, or don't drop it in front of this person because I don't want to have them speed up at me. It's just interesting how when you're not so focused on yourself, it takes the monkey off your back. You can play free. You're not second guessing yourself. It's automatic. And I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we've talked a lot about, we talked about it earlier, searching for that extra little bit. Sometimes going for that extra bit more is when you lose track of, who you really are and who your identity was to get yourself there. And maybe with you being a little sick, maybe your expectations are more just, I'll be the best version of myself rather than try to be this whole different person.
That's all I need to be.
Shows that's good enough.
It's good enough.
That's good enough to get it done, when everything's jiving. Tell me this, though. So you go from playing Catherine and Riley. Riley also an elite, top 5 for sure, mixed doubles guy, and Catherine also top 5 player, to Ben and Simone. What tactics? I mean, did you guys play them the same way? Did you adjust a little bit with the X's and O's between that team? Because Riley's also kind of like a Ben, very capable of doing a lot of things out there.
Yeah, I think, looking at my own game and like my persona, we didn't try to do anything special. We didn't try to reinvent. We kind of focused on our comfort zone, what we do well individually, what we do well as a team. Yeah. And there wasn't a whole lot of shaking and baking. Like, honestly, it was just make the drop, get in. Let's grind away from the kitchen. Let's Callie, let's have you out dink Catherine. Let's have you out dink Simone. Dink cross. I'll look to kind of poke my head in the middle and kind of set a presence. But to be honest, like the tactics were pretty simple. And I would say that one thing that I did more was that I wasn't afraid to like dink back behind the guy and like dink really aggressively cross court. Okay. And I hadn't been doing that as much. I've been more so just kind of dinking like in front of the girl and moving and like in alternating feet, trying to go to her inside foot and then her outside foot, or like trying to dink back behind and then Ernie. But yeah, I was dinking well cross, and I was getting some pop-ups from Rye, and I was getting some pop-ups from Ben. And to be honest, those two prideful dudes, when you dink cross, where does it usually come back?
Right back cross.
For sure. Yeah. So I was able to I was slicing a little bit, and then any dink out of the air, I was using topspin, kind of catching the ball at like 9 o'clock. And then I think just with mixing up the spins a little bit, they were kind of giving me just a ball that was up just a bit more that I could look to poke at Simone or look to poke at Catherine and kind of swarm from there. But to be honest, like my life and my job was pretty easy on the left, with Callie being so consistent with her drops, being so consistent with her scrambling. Transition work was super dialed, and she didn't miss a dink, and she was able to beat Rye head to head, at select times. So, we did not veer off the plan all that much. I mean, honestly, it was drop, get in, and we personally felt like just from the kitchen line, we were better than everybody.
Yeah. I remember kind of asking you about the Riley match, and that's what stood out to me is, obviously, you play a lot of third shot drives, so does Callie, but on that given day, you weren't trying to go for the cheap points as much. You were trying to, and I think just sometimes mentally getting that mindset where it's like you're ready to earn every point you get, and you're not searching
how,
for the
how,
free
how
ones.
deflating that is for your opponents when you say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna go the cheap way.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make this grueling. I'm gonna get to your lungs, and it's gonna be freaking physical.
Yeah,
it wins a lot of matches, and you lose a couple points in that fashion. All of a sudden, you're like, you start pulling trigger too quick. You start second guessing your dinking,
right.
And that can lead to other areas, just like you were talking about. With playing more dinks to Ben. And then all of a sudden, with playing more dinks to Ben, you can speed up at Ben, and his hands aren't as precise.
Well, and it helps you slide over and control more of the middle, too, as long as you're dinking aggressive cross-court. I think that's the theme in high-level mixed. Yes, the guy can go back to the guy, but if you're just content with getting it in, you're putting your female partner in a tough spot where they can start pulling the trigger. For sure,
that dink cross-court to the guy has to have some intent. It has to be more pushy. One thing that I've been missing with that Project 2 paddle, or the power paddle that I've been using, is my inside-out forehand dink just hasn't been getting down. I've been telling you that, inside-out drop, inside-out pass, and then inside-out dink. I just haven't been getting enough spin to actually get it down. And so, I was like trying to massage the ball a bit more, come up on it a bit more. Anyhow, I dinked a lot better with my inside-out forehand dink, and then which resulted into either Ben or Rye kind of lifting up and lifting kind of towards the middle, and then we could speed up at their girl and kind of go from there. So dinking aggressively cross, forcing the guy to hit a lift dink, and then swarm.
Puts you in control, right? You have options from there. Makes sense.
But didn't lose the game all day, and then didn't lose the game in the finals as well. It was a damn good day, or damn good weekend.
It's a good final too. High energy. First couple games, or first game was really fun to watch. And then it was kind of working with Leia, getting her ready, but. To go 3 for 3, no loss of nobody even took you 3. That's impressive.
That's right. And then you played men's the next day. God, we shouldn't have lost to Kohler and Wilson. They played great. No disrespect to those dudes at all.
They had a great
and Thomas Wilson, as we saw, the guy's got game, and he's a ringer. He's a new player. Don't know where he played. I think he played college tennis at University of Texas. Anyhow, sexy game. Technically, it looks textbook. It's very clean. He played the right mainly against us, but countered well, scrambled well. Ryan and I were not sharp, as we haven't been the last couple tournaments. And, so ended up losing those guys, and then had to freaking come back through and beat everybody. Beat Frazier and Yates, beat Stone and Barr. And then played Thomas and AJ again, and I was not gonna let Kohler beat me again, sucker.
This is not Las Vegas. You're not in Nevada.
No, Chet. Okay.
Not happening.
No, Chet. I'm not losing to you. I'm not losing to you in your khaki shorts and that stupid headband. Okay?
When you and Riley do lose, though, you guys are just the backdraw slayers. You guys have had some big long runs.
Get the train going.
Through the backdraw.
Oh, it's grindy, and there's not a whole lot of communication if we lose. And actually, to be honest, anytime we lose, and I don't mind warming up, but I know this guy does not want to warm up.
Right.
And so we're like that jackass team that
you just show up and play.
We just show up, and we're trying to force our opponents to get done with. Well, I'm not.
Right. You guys ready yet? You ready yet? You're good, right?
But it's we're pissed off to be in this position, and we're not going to talk, and we're just going to get through it. But anyhow, and then Championship Sunday, Fox Sports 2. First time was on Fox Sports. Pretty sweet.
Pretty
PPA
cool.
just got a contract with Fox Sports. My match, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, was not on Fox Sports. Men's singles, women's singles, and mixed is all on rotation. If that makes sense. So they'll always show men's doubles. They'll always show women's doubles. And then they will mix up the singles and the mixed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I must be more of a draw for those two. I'm a little surprised there isn't as big of a draw for mixed, just because. Yeah. I love singles, but if people want to watch doubles, I get that. But I'm surprised mixed isn't in demand to the same degree that the gender doubles is.
Mm-hmm. And nice little weekend for me. I was north of 10 to 15K. So I will take it. We'll take it.
3 for 3 on the podium.
3 for 3,
pretty
baby.
good.
3 for 3. Okay, MLP. The production was sweet. I thought they did a great job with the draft. It was held at this super cool castle in Rockwall, and unfortunately, it was after singles on that Thursday, and my body was a complete wreck. And so, as the draft was going on, I was getting a massage, and I'm texting Scott Crandall, I'm texting the owner. anyhow, it was pretty sweet. So basically, every team has a senior captain, and then they have the team owner, right? So Scott already kind of told me, hey, he's like, if you don't go 3, I'm going to pick you up at 4. Nice. So Scott already kind of told me that.
So you knew that you were for sure going to be locked in at 4.
Yeah. So I ended up, I was hoping to, go 3, but
squeeze in there at 3.
Be on James Blake's team. But I will gladly go 4. Got picked by Team Discovery, and actually this thing works out pretty good because I partnered my camp company in with Discovery Resorts, and there's actually a Discovery here in Coeur d'Alene called Gazer, and I actually know the owner pretty well, Mike Melvin. I've played with him, and anyhow, cool dude. But so I got picked at 4, and then right away I get a call from the owner.
Yeah,
pretty sweet. I got a call from the owner telling me congratulations, yada
welcome.
Yada. Yeah, welcome, awesome. Yada yada. And then he was like, hey, he's like, here's our, and he kind of let me know we have the 5th pick for the girl, and then we have the 11th pick girl, and then we have the 12th pick for a guy. So with that being said, it was cool. After I got picked, I got to work in conjunction, with the senior captain Scott Crandall, and then with the owner. We're texting back and forth and picking our best team, and obviously, I chose my girl Leia at number 5. I mean, come on, you gotta choose her.
No brainer.
And obviously we're gonna play mixed together all year next year. That just got finalized.
Awesome.
We train together, practice together. We both coach her in singles. We know her very well. We think she's kind of a good person. Just kidding.
Like her a little bit.
Sometimes,
right?
Yeah. Just kidding.
When we're not on her bad side.
But let's see here, and then we ended up picking Vivian David, who I think her and Leia have played some together. Yep. I think Vivian is a great right side player. Leia's going to play the left, I would assume, in that role. Yep. Like we were talking about earlier, Vivian and Deckel just came off of a W against Ben and Simone, and Vivian played the right, and Vivian, not going to say she ate Ben's lunch, but she countered well. Yep. And that two-handed counter with that new PPO comes back in a hurry.
No, her hands look way better than they were a year ago. She's kind of, for whatever reason, stopped doing much with singles and really concentrated on doubles, and her game's skyrocketed. So no, I think you guys have a really solid team. Who else was available when you decided to go with Vivian?
So it was Viv, Michelle. No. It was Viv, Susanna Barr.
Okay.
I guess a couple more. Maybe Lee Whitwell. I can't remember. It's a couple more. But and then obviously ended up choosing Zane as well. And I mean, to be honest, it was tough during the whole process. I had a couple guys texting me, trying to force me to choose them.
Sorry about
that.
And I'm just
it's tough. With me being the first pick, I was so accessible to be the victim in that case.
Right.
And so I got a couple guys knocking at the door saying, hey, are you gonna take me at that 12 spot? And so this is what it came down to. Love all the guys on tour. Zane has been the APP legend, as we all know, and I'm not saying that with any sort of disrespect at all. The guy has been grinding, and the guy's been winning, right?
Well, you know what it takes to win a Triple Crown, right? That's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not easy anymore at all.
And I didn't used to respect. I mean, I respected his doubles game, but I felt like there was just some missing pieces, right? And there was just way too much focus on the serve and the drive. Now he's countering better, he's dinking better, he's taking more balls out of the air, he's not scrambling as much. That old dancey kind of wild Zane is much more tame and it's much more stationary. Yep. And to be honest, he's last 3 APPs, he played with 3 different mixed partners, 3 APPs, 3 different mixed partners, 3 gold medals. Yeah. Simple as that. The guy's a stud. Susanna Barr, Andrea Coop, and remember, but
Michelle, maybe.
Maybe.
I think it might have been.
But anyhow, K-Mac, give us your top 3 teams.
All right,
top 3 teams, and if there's yeah,
and
based it off of chemistry.
I want the viewers to know that I'm not being biased. I just legitimately think that your team is definitely in the top 3. I think when you look at the format, it's going to be men's doubles, women's doubles, and then two mixed, and then singles as a tiebreaker. So I think you guys are right in the conversation for one of the best teams just in doubles. But I think you probably have the most depth across the board if it does go to a tiebreaker. of singles with you, Zane, Leia, and then Vivian. Like I mentioned, I don't think she does a lot of singles anymore, but when she did, she's a very good singles player. So I like your guys' chances. I think Ben's team's really solid. I thought him getting Nunnery with the close to last pick or one of the final picks for guys is he's obviously trending up and shown that he can very much hang at the highest levels these days. You got Irina and Andrea. I think they've played together before, and so they've got some decent chemistry. So I think they're a team to look out for. Other than that, I mean, I actually, if I'm being honest, I really like after that, I'm going to go with Team Clean. Adam Stone, Deckel Barr, they know how to play together. Callie Smith and Corinne, I just feel like Adam and Corinne can play together. Deckel and Callie would be a really tough mixed team. All of them can, have done singles. They would do well in that environment. So I would say that would be my top 3. Honestly, when you look at all the teams, though, really anybody on any given day could definitely get the W. I think that's why this is going to be a really exciting event and an exciting format.
Like it. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be a fun weekend, and it's going to be cool to hang out with all the owners and, something different. The pros are going to be mic'd up. Yeah, we're gonna see a different. So we're gonna probably hear just a different side to the pros, good or bad.
Good or bad.
Right. But I would assume there's gonna be some trash talk and there's gonna be some camaraderie, as well.
So
but,
everybody's gonna be mic'd up while you're playing.
Yes,
All right.
I'm pretty certain. And then on top of that, it's at Dreamland, Dripping Springs. This place is incredible. There's a farm. There is a concert venue, food and beverage, pickle, outdoor games. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So
that's dates for that is November. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like November. Let's see here. Sorry. It's November 5th through the 8th. Okay. And I believe on the 8th is the finals. But okay, so. And something I want to mention here, and this needs to be mentioned, is that Rob Cassidy was pissed. Was pissed that he didn't get chosen. Okay.
Oh, really?
And I'm gonna backtrack. I said it was Thursday night. It was Friday night. It was after mixed. Okay. And so why I was not there is because my body was beat up. But so Cassidy doesn't get chosen. Shows up on Saturday. Guess what happens? Him and Nunnery beat everybody and make the final. Oh yeah, okay. That's called poking the bear.
That's how you
and
do
somebody
it, right.
Waking up.
Right.
Somebody waking up, baby. That's why I texted Rob right away on Saturday and said, dude, like, kudos to you. Like, I'm super glad you could fuel that. And from what it seemed like, you kind of used that experience last night to like wake up a little bit and just be a tougher, scrappier dog, if you know what I mean. And the guy played insane on Saturday. But and like something I'm going to mention for my own game is I recently got dropped by a mixed partner. All good, and it was I'm not going to say it was late, but there's a lot of that stuff going on. People are dropping people like flies, and it's a little wild. And so anyhow, got dropped by her, and my I will be brutally honest, my men's partner dropped me earlier on this year. All good. And then to see AJ and Rye win, right? So I get dropped by my men's partner. Right. Oh yeah, get dropped by my females partner, and then see Rye and AJ win. Like, I was hurt. But just like Rob Cassidy, like you can wake up and you can use it, or you can cry like a little baby and be insecure and like be way too internal, and it can make or break people. And it made Rob a much better individual on the court on Saturday, and I kid you not, like going back to the drawing board and kind of getting my pride hurt a little bit, made me a lot better in Texas. It did. Made me a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, it's great to see. Like you said, when you're in a tough spot, you can choose which path to go, right? You either crawl into a corner and feel bad for yourself, or you make it happen. And both of you guys did that this weekend. And, credit to Cassidy, because he, again, not a high-level tennis player, kind of had his own special sauce with pickleball. When I came on the scene, there were a lot of pro players that I would say were in that category where they had kind of a unique game. Most of them are not still top pros now that there's been a tour. Rob has continued to add pieces, and continued to be more than just relevant, despite the game getting way better over the last 2 years. So he's stuck around.
Yep.
Happy for him.
Yep. I think like 4 players that have really maximized their potential and have gotten like their games have gone full circle in the last 6 months. Lee Whitwell, right?
Great point. Yeah.
Rob Cassidy, prime example of somebody that is maximizing what they have to its fullest, right?
Yep.
Austin Gridley.
Yep.
And Austin, Rob,
Susanna and Lee.
Boom.
Yeah,
Okay. Come a long ways.
Yep.
And comes to show that you work on your game and you really tighten it up, and if there's not a whole lot of baggage and you understand your patterns, you understand your tactics, and you kind of maximize what you have, there's a lot of success there for sure. There is. So I think one thing that all those players do well is Lee Whitwell's defense has gotten so much better. Rob Cassidy's defense is tremendous. Susanna Barr will scrap until there's no tomorrow. And Gridley's the same way. The guys are defending well, defending really well.
They all have belief. They believe themselves. For sure.
Okay, Seahawks, it's not good.
It's not going to be a good year.
Not good. No, Russ broke his finger, dislocated his finger. The defense is not great. There's no time to throw. Same stuff, different year. And I know why Russ wanted to leave.
Yeah, the offensive line is not looking great. The defense is looking poor, and you can only do so much by yourself. So he's going to miss at least 6 games? Is that what it is now?
Yeah, the season. I mean, Geno Smith is... I'm just going to leave it at that.
They're in the NFC West. Cardinals are undefeated. They just lost to the Rams for 4-1. Unfortunately... Probably isn't the Seahawks year this year.
It's not. Okay, Wilder and Fury. It was the trilogy fight. I bought the pay-per-view. Sick fight. Probably one of the better heavyweight fights of the ages.
Did you have a guy that you were rooting for going into it? Or
yeah,
just wanted to see a good fight?
I actually like Tyson Fury, the Bronze Bomber, or Deontay Wilder. He's just a little too fake for me, or he seems fake. But I mean, they're both tough as nails, and you got to respect just the. Getting to that stage, all the work they've put in. Anyhow, crazy fight. Both dudes got knocked down. Wilder got knocked down like in the second round pretty early. And then not until like round 5, he actually knocked down Fury twice that round, which is like, which is unheard of, especially, heavyweights, right? And just so you guys are aware, if you guys don't follow boxing, Fury is 6'9", 270, used to be 400 pounds and like a alcoholic and a druggie and cleaned his life up. The guy literally, the guy's a machine. And then Deontay Wilder is just a specimen. I mean, cut, tattooed from head to toe and cut. Sweet fight. Fury... I will not mention what his coach. So what's nice about ordering pay-per-view? Anytime you're watching combat sports, they'll do like a close-up on the coach, and you can hear kind of what the coach is saying. And usually with combat sports, it's nothing but cuss words and just a lot of motivational stuff. Yeah. But there were some things said to Mr. Fury at the end of round 8, or no, end of round. Was it round 10? He got knocked out.
I think it was 11. Actually.
11. Okay, yeah.
So 11.
At the end of round 10. Fury's coach told him some pretty, not awful things, but some pretty vulgar things to kind of get him going and like spark a fire.
Get that last little bit out.
And about a minute later, Fury came out and knocked him out. Yeah. It's a motivation, baby.
Great fight. Rare, too, to see each guy fall down, right? Not know which way it's going to go. And my understanding, too, not that I'm a boxing expert by any means, is, Fury's more got the all-around boxer, whereas Wilder's more of the power puncher, right? So even though their builds are a little bit different, it was kind of cool to see it almost go all the way.
I think you're probably looking at the notes here, but Wilder, 40 million, Fury, 50 million. Boom. Silly.
All right, we gotta trade sports.
And on top of that, one thing that I hope that Pickle will get to someday is that like UFC fights, boxing matches, like after they get done, they can like go to a club in Vegas and like the DJ will like invite them up on the stage and they're Fury is at this nightclub in Vegas and he's like up on stage with Steve Aoki, who's a EDM DJ. And it's just chaotic.
He's probably just blacked
Steve Aoki's throwing like full-size cakes at like people's faces. Tyson Fury's got his shirt off. He's like dumping beer on his head. It is chaos. Anyhow, I hope Pickle gets there someday where I can hang out with the DJ after the event.
That's the sort of victory celebration you're looking for.
It is.
I love it.
It is. Okay, the Project 2 paddle. To be honest, it took me about 6 weeks to really figure this thing out. I felt like my touch and my drops and my defense and my scrambling ability and all that stuff, I was just second guessing it, and I was not trusting it. And yeah, in Texas, felt a lot better. It's simplified. And one thing, I just want to talk about power paddles. One thing I know now is that it takes a select skill set to play defense with a power paddle. And not to pick on Jesse Irvin at all, but something that we recognized in that mix final was that she was popping drops up, and any sort of like anytime we were on offense and they were back scrambling or on defense, we would force her to like have to come up with this really good like defensive play. Plain and simple, we would just put a lot of balls on her when she was playing defense, and with that black engaged pursuit that is much poppier than my Project 2, she couldn't keep the ball down.
Yeah.
Man, literally, it's tough to play good defense with a screaming hot paddle. It is. Totally is.
No, it's great to have that one-shot counterpunch point over, but if you can't get the fundamentals and the 2, 3, 4 balls in the kitchen to work your way up, doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work at the highest level.
And it was weird. For the longest time, I felt like all my drops and my dinks, like my opponent was able to take the ball out of the air, and I'm like, gosh, I just can't get the freaking ball down. And yeah, I've noticed, modify, do less. Like on my drive, I've got to like tuck my elbow in. Anyhow, I figured it out.
And that was kind of a game time tactic, because I know that you were telling me, kind of showed me some notes, and you were thinking that you were going to return to Jay, right, to keep him from disconnecting and poaching, but you realized that Jesse just didn't have the right feel.
Some little birdie told us that the previous day that her defense and her drops was just wasn't a little off. Dialed in, and honestly, like the percentage of drops that she popped up, like it was probably like 30 to 40%. I mean, it was a pretty large percentage. Granted, like they could clean up on their fifth and then come in or whatever, but. Yeah, there's just something with like, there are obviously pros and cons, but if you're going to use a power paddle, you really have to figure it out. You have to trust it. And one thing that I wanted to do, or one thing I did want to happen, was to second guess my soft game, to second guess my defense. And for about 6 weeks, I totally was. And I thought if I just play the course, stay with the paddle, I'll be fine and I'll figure it out. And it's kind of funny. I actually brought my Vanguard power paddles with me. It's the first time since I've used the new paddle where I brought my old ones with me to Texas just in case.
Just in case you needed to get on the paddle switch.
I was second guessing. And the crazy thing too is that like leading up to Texas, like I was second guessing my confidence in the paddle. Right. Like Ryan AJ had just gotten a W. Got dropped by my mix partner. I was all sorts of messed up, right? And I'm like, you know what? Freaking, I'm going to be better. I am.
Then you show up sick and you get your first title.
It's funny how that works.
On the PPA, right?
Funny how that works. Okay, camps. We ran a great camp in Rockwall. Had 22 the first day, had 26 the second day. Campers had a great time. It was weather was nice. And we did our 2-day camp and then flew home Tuesday night. And some camps that we have coming up. We have Vegas PPA camp coming up directly after the PPA event. We have Palm Springs coming up. And then we have a Mexico trip at Tres Palapas. If you guys want to take a trip down to Baja and hang out with K-Mac, Johnny, Sperling, and myself, get yourself signed up.
I'm pretty excited for that one. I think that's going to be one of our best ones for sure. If there's any way to make it to Mexico, come join us.
Yep. And, something that I heard on the Freestyle Boys podcast, and no disrespect to Benny, because I truly enjoy that man, and I like me some nunnery. But it seemed like, Ben was a little sour just about, and I totally get it. The guy doesn't like to lose, as with all of us. But, it just seemed a little quiet when it came to nunnery, asking him what had happened in mixed, if you know what I mean. And from what it sounds like he had an exam directly after. I don't know if I believe that, but sounds like Kyle's looking to tread lightly here. I can see the guard up on his face.
Well, let's put it this way. I finished my degree online, and so I took a handful of online exams And I don't remember for mine personally them having an exact starting time that I needed to make it to. It seemed like it was kind of an all-day, get it done at some time sort of thing. So I have no idea why they pulled out. I mean, obviously he's trying to balance a lot with his schedule, but and this isn't picking on Ben by any means. I just think this is a human beings, right? Sometimes you can be a great winner and not a great loser. Sometimes you can be a great loser and not a great winner. Like they're different mindsets.
I would assume he would consider himself a very bad loser.
I think he's a very humble winner. I do. But, he doesn't have a lot of experience losing.
It's true. It's true.
It's for the people that like to win, which all the high-level athletes do, learning to lose and handle yourself.
It takes a like skill set.
It's tough.
It does.
It's tough.
It is. And I mean, watching him lose, it's not a fun thing to watch. And Ben, know that this is all love here, buddy. But one thing I do know, Benny, is that when that hat comes off, we are pretty close, baby. when the hat comes off, the few times that I have beat you in my stinking career, when the hat comes off, I feel like I'm pretty close to the finish line. And something I told Callie, it was like, I don't know, it was like 7-6 game 2. It was raining and we like just came inside. You took the hat off and I'm like, Callie, hey, when that hat comes off, we are pretty close.
That's the tell, right? That's the tell.
We are pretty close.
You know you're getting under his skin if he starts taking clothes off.
Right. Hey, any last notes here for the viewers?
No, just excited. Like I said, if there's any way to come make Mexico, I think that's going to be one of our best camps ever. And I'm excited for the Vegas PPA. I don't know if we know for sure, but the PPA is going to start allowing some betting, which, gosh, if there's any way for me to do that, I'm going to have a problem there.
Get your greasy hands on that.
But I heard a rumor that maybe this is the first tournament where that's going to go on, so we'll definitely have more to talk about next episode, after that.
My name is Tyson McGuffin. This is the McGuffin Show. We will see you guys in episode 25.